Are your locks thinning? Don't get worried. Hi, welcome back to the channel. For those of us that are new to the channel, my name is Dora of Els Mirror, lover of natural hair and locks. Today we'll be talking about thinning locks, what causes thinning locks, how to fix thinning locks, and how to prevent them from reoccurring. If this sounds like something you're interested in, then please do keep watching. The first common factor that causes thinning locks is improper handling during retwists and separation at the roots. Now, you know that when you wash your locks, the roots of your locks, they marry each other. How do you separate them? Do you just pop them? Do you just pa, 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 because you want to separate at the root? No, it's wrong. It causes your strands to break off its connection. So if there is a strand connected to another lock, you have to gently remove them. You unwound and remove that lock. Don't just pop, boom. You've disconnected that lock from its origin. This could cause thinning. How do you also retwist? When you are interlocking with your crochet pin, how do you do it? You know, there are techniques to these things. If you do not know this technique, go to a professional loctician to help you interlock your locks when you want to retwist. Because if you do them wrongly, you could cause thinning for yourself. Also, by palm rolling. Those of us that palm roll our locks, how often do you palm roll your lock? I made a video where I said that I palm roll my locks once in a quarter. This helps me retain volume and length. So palm rolling your locks too often could cause thinning as well and weak spots in your locks. So you have to consider how often you are going to start retwisting your locks and what method are you going to use. If you don't know how to do it yourself, please get a loctician, get a professional to help you do it so that you do not create weak spots for yourself. Consistently wearing tight ponytails, tight braids, tight twists, basically over manipulation of your locks could cause your locks to start thinning and having weak spots. Constant tension can cause breakage. It can cause weak spots on your locks. Why are you doing tight hairstyles? Why? Just tell me why. One thing you don't know about tight hairstyles is it causes thinning. I don't know, but it causes thinning. I don't know why people enjoy doing it. Now, you have to ask yourself, do I prefer looking so neat with my locks and at the end of the day, my locks are not properly maintained? Or do I prefer maintaining my locks, even if they are not looking so perfect, prim and proper, but at the end of the day, my locks are healthy? You can't have the both of them. Let me give you an example. Now, some people would want to do one hairstyle that is so prim and proper. They will take rubber band. What are you doing with rubber band? You use rubber band and pack one hairstyle. You carry it for a whole week. You will not loosen it. And it will be so tight. The next week, you will change your hairstyle. You will take another rubber band and you tighten it. You carry it for the second week. The third week, you loosen the same thing. Fourth week. So throughout the month, you've been using rubber band to tighten your locks at different spots. You do that first month, second month, third month. Some people even do it all through the year. What do you think is going to happen? Let me give you an example. By the time you've tightened this point so tightly and this point so tightly because of different packing, what will happen is that one day when you just leave your locks down, maybe you've washed your locks and you just leave it down, you will see something like your locks are normal here, then here is thin inside, then normal, then thin inside, normal, thin inside. All those things are potential weak spots. All those places are potential weak spots for your locks to thin. Yeah, there are potential weak spots for your locks to thin. Sometimes just leave your locks down. Enjoy your hair. I'm not saying you can't pack your hair or style your hair, but don't make them too tight. The third thing I'm going to be talking to you about today is mishandling tools, using lock tools in a way that you shouldn't use them. Now, one lock tool I'm going to be talking to you about is the crochet pin. So many people don't know how to use this pin. Right? So if you watch my video on different methods of locking your hair, there is this method that you could use the crochet pin to lock your hair. Some people do not know how to use this pin. Why are you using it? You get the pin and you just poke. There is a method to these things. If you do not know how to use it very well, get a professional loctician to use it for you. Because the more you poke wrongly, the more you disconnect your locks, thereby causing weak spots, potential weak spots for your locks to thin. So don't use tools wrongly. Another reason why your locks are prone to thinning is because you use chemicals and a lot of products on your hair. For instance, let me ask you this question. Why are you dyeing your locks? Why are you dyeing your locks? You know that dyes are chemical that could potentially damage your locks. Why are you using them on your locks? This creates potential weak spots for your locks to thin. Why are you using gel? It's not gel, they call it edge control. Why are you using them on your locks? The residues from these chemicals that are contained in the dyes that you use on your locks, they are going to continually break down hair strands along your locks, thereby causing weak spots for thinning to occur on your locks. So you have to try to prevent using dyes, products that has strong chemicals that could damage your locks. Another thing I want to talk about is environmental and styling factor. For instance, I hear people trim their frizz. Why are you trimming your frizz? It's important for you to know that your frizz is part of your lock growth stage. Watch my video on stages of lock growth. When your locks begin to frizz, it is normal. It's part of the growth stage. Don't trim your frizz. If you trim your frizz, you're reducing the volume of your locks. If you reduce the volume of your locks, you are creating potential weak spots for lock thinning. How do you dry your locks? When you wash your locks, how do you dry them? Do you squeeze them? Do you pull them? I don't know, but try not to apply too much pressure when you dry your locks. It's not cloth. I'm not drying cloth. It's my hair, my locks. So I don't advise people to try to squeeze their locks. Just pat the tip dry, pat the roots dry, and leave it to air dry. That's all. So too much tension when you are trying to dry your locks could also pull your hair strands, thereby creating potential weak spots for lock breakage and thinning of your locks. There are other factors that could cause thinning, breakage, and weak spots on your locks, but I've chosen to speak on this few. So now that we've looked at different reasons why our locks thin, let's look at practical methods of fixing thinning locks. Now that we've identified some of the causes, let's discuss solutions to repair thinning locks. The first method of repairing thinning locks is by combining a thin lock with an adjacent strong lock. This method involves merging a weaker, thinner lock with an adjacent, thicker one to reinforce its structure. After you identify the thin lock, you align the locks, and this strong lock must be in close range. It must be a very close neighbor to this thin lock. After you've done that, use a small crochet hook to intertwine the fiber of both locks. Remember, if you do not know how to do this yourself, I think you should get a professional loctician to do it for you. Starting from the roots, you walk towards the ends like this. This process involves manually weaving the hair from the thinner lock into the thicker one to create a more robust combined locks. Before crocheting, use a rat tail comb to gently tease out the roots of both locks to help them merge more effectively. Then you can now proceed with a light retwist to maintain the integration before crocheting for additional security. The second method is hook repair for specific weak spots. The first thing you need to do is to locate the weak section, hold the lock at the weak points to double its thickness at that spot, then secure the folded section by crocheting. This helps to reinforce the structure. You could also choose to cut and rejoin, like the method I am using right now. I recommend this especially when the weak point is at the tip of the locks. said in my previous video, this is not how I started my locks. A lot of adjustments were made along the way. I had moments where I had to loosen my locks and re-twist them, like relock them so that they grow properly. I'm making a lot of videos to prevent you from making the same mistakes that I made when I started my lock journey. I had thin locks I had to combine with stronger locks just to prevent thinning and weak spots. I had fat locks that were too fat. I had to loosen them, divide them, and relock so that most of the sizes of my locks could be in sync. So don't think that because your locks look damaged, that's the end. No, that's not the end. There are some weak spots that you just have to let go. You just have to cut them off, especially if they are around the tip. You just have to let them go, cut them off, because you know that this is beyond repair, and then proceed to taking good care of your lock. If you're not sure that you want to start keeping locks yet, like I said, you could start temporary locks. I have a video on temporary locks or natural hair. You could start with temporary locks so that you know if you're ready. Then you can braid your hair, you can use your rubber band and do whatever you want to do on your hair. But once you've decided that you want to start keeping locks, please don't over manipulate your locks. Don't over stress your locks. You could style your locks without over stressing them. I'll be making videos and showing you how you can style your locks and make it still look very neat, how you can braid on your locks and make it still look very neat without too much pressure, without too much tension on your locks. And even if you decide to be styling your locks, don't do it often. Allow your locks to breathe so that your locks are not prone to weak spots, breakage, thinning, and all. Finally, do not cut your frizz. I have to do a special video talking about frizz. It's part of your lock growth stage. Enjoy your frizz. I hope you've learned a thing or two from this video. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, subscribe, and stay beautiful.